Maya Johnson sat at her modest kitchen table, a landscape of crumpled drafts scattered around her like fallen leaves in autumn. Each page bore the remnants of her countless nights spent weaving words together, an intricate tapestry of hope, pain, and resilience. The dim light overhead flickered as if echoing her own uncertainty. She pushed a strand of hair behind her ear, her brow furrowing in concentration as she typed yet another iteration of her novel. It was a story that meant everything to her, a reflection of her identity, her voice, and her dreams. Just one more edit, she whispered to herself, determination lacing her voice. The clatter of keys filled the silence, punctuated only by the occasional sigh of frustration. Maya could envision the day when she would hold her published book in her hands, the cover gleaming with the promise of a new beginning. She imagined the joy of signing copies for eager readers, the warmth of their smiles as they shared how her words resonated with their own experiences. One day, she murmured, glancing out of the window at the busy street below. People hurried by, oblivious to the world she created within these four walls. The reality of her dreams felt both tantalizingly close and painfully distant. The thought of submission loomed over her like a storm cloud, but the urge to share her story was stronger than her fear of rejection. With a deep breath, Maya gathered her edited manuscript and printed the final version. As she carefully placed it in a crisp envelope addressed to the prestigious publishing house, a mix of excitement and anxiety swirled within her. She could almost hear the clinking of glasses at a future book launch, the applause of an audience captivated by her words. "Okay, Maya, you've got this," she said aloud, as if trying to convince herself. Her heart raced as she dropped the envelope into the mailbox, watching it disappear within the depths of the metal box. For a moment, she stood frozen, the weight of her hopes resting heavily on her shoulders. Days turned into a week, each passing moment stretching her patience thinner. Maya found herself obsessively checking her email, heart pounding at the mere sound of a notification. She imagined the phone call that would change her life forever. The voice on the other end congratulating her, offering her a contract, and ushering her into the world of published authors. Then came the day she had both anticipated and dreaded. The email notification popped up on her screen, and her breath caught in her throat. It was from Claire Thompson, the head editor at the publishing house, a name that loomed large in the industry. Maya's hands shook as she clicked it open, her eyes racing over the words that felt like daggers piercing through her dreams. "Dear Ms. Johnson," it began, her pulse quickening with each word. But as she read on, the sharpness of disappointment dulled her spirit. The rejection was filled with patronizing remarks about her writing style, criticisms that felt more like personal attacks than constructive feedback. "Your voice is interesting, but it lacks the depth we seek," Claire had written, followed by a condescending suggestion that perhaps Maya should consider writing from a different perspective, one more palatable to the mainstream audience. Maya felt a lump form in her throat, the sting of tears threatening to spill over. "What does she know about my story?" she muttered under her breath, her heart aching with a blend of anger and sorrow. The walls of her apartment, once a sanctuary, now felt like a cage, trapping her in a moment of profound self-doubt. "Maybe she's right," Maya whispered, the words tasting bitter on her tongue. "Maybe I'm not good enough." The thought spiraled through her mind, each iteration eroding her confidence further. Yet, deep down, a flicker of defiance ignited within her. She remembered the countless hours of labor she had poured into her writing, the late nights, the revisions, the love she infused into every character and plot twist. With a heavy heart, she folded the rejection letter and placed it in a drawer, determined to not let it define her. "This isn't the end," she declared softly, a quiet resolve settling over her. She would not allow one person's opinion to extinguish the fire of her ambition. Maya took a deep breath, her gaze landing on the crumpled drafts scattered across the table. "There's more to this story," she reassured herself, a spark of inspiration igniting once again. As she began to type, the words flowed more freely than before, fueled by a newfound determination. She might be facing rejection, but she would rise from the ashes, ready to tell her story on her own terms. Maya Johnson sat at her desk, the soft glow of her laptop illuminating the late-night shadows that danced around her cramped apartment. The walls were adorned with scribbled notes and inspirational quotes, remnants of her relentless pursuit to become an author. After the crushing rejection from Claire Thompson and her esteemed publishing house, Maya had resolved to take control of her narrative. The sting of doubt lingered, but it fueled her determination. She had spent countless hours learning the ins and outs of self-publishing, marketing, and social media, transforming her initial despair into a strategic plan. "Okay, Maya, you can do this," she murmured to herself, fingers poised above the keyboard. "This is your story, and you deserve to share it with the world." That night, she finalized the cover design for her novel, Voices of the Forgotten. The cover was a vibrant collage that represented the diverse voices she sought to amplify, and as she clicked the publish button, a rush of adrenaline coursed through her. Days turned into weeks, and the initial anticipation morphed into anxiety. Maya spent her nights crafting compelling posts for her social media, sharing snippets of her writing, and connecting with potential readers. Each notification from her phone felt like a heartbeat in her growing dream, a reminder that she was no longer just an aspiring author. She was a published one. "Look, Maya, I'm not sure how much traction you'll get. Self-publishing is a tough market," her best friend Nia had warned her during one of their late-night brainstorming sessions. "But you have to believe in your work." "I do believe in it," Maya replied, determination etched across her face. "I just need others to see it too. This book is more than just words. It's a reflection of our stories, our struggles." As the days passed, Maya found herself inundated with messages from readers who resonated with her characters and themes. The reviews were overwhelmingly positive, with many praising her authentic voice and storytelling. Social media buzzed with excitement. Hashtags like hashtag Voices of the Forgotten and hashtag Maya Johnson Author began trending, capturing the attention of book bloggers and influencers. One evening, as Maya scrolled through her notifications, she stumbled upon a video review. A young woman passionately discussing how Maya's book had changed her perspective on life. Tears welled in Maya's eyes as she realized the impact her words were having. "I can't believe this is happening," she whispered, a smile breaking across her face. Meanwhile, across town, Claire Thompson sat in her sleek office, scrolling through her phone with a mixture of disbelief and disdain. The buzz surrounding Maya's novel had reached her ears, but she dismissed it as a fleeting trend. "Self-publishing? It's just a fad. Anyone can put a book out these days," Claire scoffed, crossing her arms as she leaned back in her chair. Her assistant, Jenna, looked up for her laptop, unsure if she should interject. Claire, but the reviews, they're quite impressive. People are really connecting with her story," Jenna ventured cautiously. "Impressive, or just a clever marketing ploy?" Claire shot back, her voice dripping with skepticism. "Let's be real, Jenna. It's easy to get attention online. It doesn't mean the writing is any good." "Still, it might be worth looking into," Jenna suggested, glancing at the growing number of followers Maya had amassed. "Maybe we should consider her for future projects." Claire rolled her eyes, irritation bubbling beneath the surface. "I'll believe it when I see it. A few viral posts don't equate to lasting success. Just wait. This will blow over." Yet, as the weeks rolled on, Claire couldn't shake the gnawing feeling of envy. Deep down, she recognized the talent Maya possessed, a talent she had overlooked during their initial encounter. The thought of Maya's growing success gnawed at her, and she found herself scrolling through Maya's social media profiles late into the night, unable to look away. "Why am I even bothered by this?" Claire muttered to herself, frustration mixing with an unwelcome sense of admiration. "It's just a book." But as Maya's book continued to climb the bestseller lists, Claire's dismissive front began to crack, revealing a deeper insecurity. The industry she had once dominated was rapidly changing, and she felt unmoored in a sea of emerging voices ready to challenge the status quo. In the heart of Maya's victory, Claire saw not just a rival, but the embodiment of everything she had once taken for granted: authenticity, resilience, and the raw power of storytelling. And as she leaned back in her chair, arms crossed defiantly against her chest. She couldn't shake the feeling that Maya's success was just the beginning of something monumental. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue across the city, Maya Johnson stepped into the buzzing atmosphere of a local bookstore where she was scheduled for her first book signing. The walls were lined with shelves that cradled stories waiting to be discovered, and the air was thick with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. The excitement was palpable as fans gathered, clutching copies of Voices of the Forgotten. Maya stood behind a table adorned with her book, her heart racing. Just a few months ago, she had been sitting in her cluttered apartment, drowning in self-doubt after Claire Thompson's rejection. Now, here she was, a best-selling author, and the support she had received from her readers was overwhelming. She adjusted her glasses, took a deep breath, and flashed a bright smile as the first fan approached. Maya, I can't believe I'm actually meeting you," a young woman exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. She extended her copy of the book, trembling slightly. "Your story changed my life. It made me feel seen. Thank you so much. That means the world to me," Maya replied, her voice steady despite the flutter in her chest. She took the book and signed it with a flourish, feeling a surge of confidence. "I'm so glad the story resonated with you." As each fan came forward, Maya immersed herself in conversations, discovering how her work had touched their lives. She listened intently, each story adding a new layer to her own journey. A middle-aged man, his hands weathered and worn, shared how he had struggled with his identity and how her book had inspired him to embrace who he was. "I never thought I'd see myself in a book," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for writing this." Maya felt a warmth spread through her chest. "You're the reason I write," she replied, her eyes glimmering. "To give a voice to those who feel unheard." As the signing progressed, Maya noticed a familiar face lingering near the entrance. Claire Thompson stood at the edge of the crowd, her expression a mixture of disbelief and disdain. The sight of her sent a chill down Maya's spine, but she quickly shook it off. Today was about celebrating her success, not dwelling on the past. After the signing, Maya was invited to an interview at a local radio station. The host, an energetic woman named Sarah, greeted her with a warm hug, clearly excited about the buzz surrounding Maya's work. "You're the talk of the town, Maya. How does it feel to be on the bestseller list?" "It feels surreal," Maya admitted, her voice laced with genuine excitement. "I never imagined this would happen after I self-published. It just shows how much people crave diverse stories." The interview continued, and Maya found herself speaking passionately about her writing process, the challenges she faced, and the importance of representation in literature. The more she shared, the more she felt empowered, realizing that her voice mattered. Meanwhile, Claire was not idle. Behind the scenes, she whispered to industry insiders, attempting to sow seeds of doubt about Maya's sudden success. Rumors began to circulate, insinuating that Maya's rise was merely the result of clever marketing strategies rather than genuine talent. "It's all smoke and mirrors," Claire would say with an air of superiority, convinced that she could dismantle Maya's hard-earned reputation. Maya, however, remained blissfully unaware of Claire's underhanded tactics. Instead, she focused on the love and support she received from her readers and the community that had embraced her work. She spent late nights responding to messages, thanking fans for their reviews, and sharing snippets of her next project on social media. With every interaction, she felt a deepening connection to her audience, solidifying her belief that she was on the right path. One evening, as Maya was winding down after a long day of interviews, her phone buzzed with a message from a friend in the industry. "Maya, you need to be careful. I've heard Claire is trying to discredit you. She's spreading rumors that your success is all about marketing gimmicks." The words hit Maya like a punch to the gut. A mix of anger and sadness swirled within her. But instead of succumbing to retaliation, she took a moment to reflect. "I won't let this break me," she whispered to herself, determination seeping into her bones. "I'll keep writing for my readers, for the stories that need to be told." And with that resolve, Maya turned her focus back to her work, ready to rise above the negativity and embrace the journey ahead. The whispers of doubt would not define her. Her passion for storytelling would continue to illuminate the path forward. Maya stood in front of the mirror in her small apartment, adjusting the collar of her dress. The fabric felt foreign against her skin, a stark contrast to the comfortable sweatpants she usually wore while writing. Today was different. She was nominated for a major literary award, a culmination of hard work and determination that had finally borne fruit. Her heart raced, not just from excitement, but also from the weight of expectations resting upon her shoulders. She imagined Claire Thompson, the editor who once deemed her unworthy, sitting in the audience. A part of her longed for the moment to confront the woman who had tried to diminish her talent. As she arrived at the elegant event hall, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. The air was thick with the scent of polished wood and fresh flowers, mingling with the sound of laughter and chatter. Maya spotted familiar faces, fellow authors, literary agents, and mentors who had supported her journey. Each greeting felt like a warm embrace, a reminder that she was not alone in this world that had once felt so isolating. "Congratulations, Maya," called out Sarah, a fellow author and longtime friend. Her eyes sparkled with pride. "You've worked so hard for this. I can't wait to see you up there." "Thanks, Sarah," Maya replied, her voice almost a whisper, overwhelmed by the support. "I still can't believe I'm nominated." "Believe it. You deserve every bit of this recognition," Sarah encouraged, squeezing Maya's hand before moving on to chat with another guest. The ceremony commenced, and excitement filled the room. Maya sat among the other nominees, a mix of seasoned authors and emerging voices, all eager for their moment in the spotlight. As the presenters announced each category, Maya's thoughts drifted back to the early days of her writing journey, when every rejection felt like a punch to her gut. She remembered the burning determination that pushed her to self-publish, to rise against the odds, and to prove her worth. Finally, the moment arrived. The presenter, a well-respected literary critic, took the stage, his voice booming through the hall. And the nominee for Best New Author goes to Maya Johnson for Voices of the Forgotten. Applause erupted like fireworks, drowning out her thoughts. Maya stood in shock, her heart racing. She moved through the sea of applause, feeling as if she were floating, until she reached the podium. Gripping the microphone, she faced an audience filled with both admiration and skepticism. Claire was there, a shadow in the corner of her vision, arms crossed and lips pursed. "Wow," Maya began, her voice trembling slightly. "Thank you so much. This moment is surreal. When I began writing, I wanted to tell stories that resonated with my experience and the experiences of others like me. I faced countless rejections and doubts, but I learned that perseverance and authenticity are powerful forces." Maya's words flowed, fueled by the emotion of her journey. "If there's one thing I've learned, it's that our voices matter. We must never let anyone silence us or dictate our worth. Every story deserves to be heard." The audience erupted in applause once again, and Maya felt a surge of empowerment. She caught a glimpse of Claire's expression, a mix of envy and grudging respect that only fueled Maya's determination. As the ceremony concluded, guests mingled, and Maya felt a rush of relief and joy. People approached her with congratulations, their smiles genuine and warm. Yet, as she turned to step away, she spotted Claire approaching, her heels clicking purposefully against the polished floor. "Maya," Claire called out, feigning enthusiasm. "Congratulations on your win. Truly impressive." Maya forced a smile, her instincts alerting her to the insincerity behind Claire's words. "Thank you, Claire. It means a lot," she replied, keeping her tone measured. "I must say, I was surprised by your speech," Claire continued, her voice smooth but laced with an underlying tension. "It's not every day that we see someone rise from self-publishing to such heights. You've really outdone yourself." Maya narrowed her eyes slightly, sensing the veiled implications behind Claire's compliments. "I appreciate your acknowledgement, but I know my journey hasn't been conventional. I worked hard, and I'm proud of what I've achieved." "Of course," Claire replied, a tight smile on her lips. "But remember, the industry is always watching. They can be fickle. A little guidance from someone with experience could go a long way. Maya bristled at the suggestion. She understood the game Claire was playing, offering a lifeline laced with hidden motives. I'm grateful for the offer, but I believe in the strength of my own voice and vision. I think I'll manage just fine on my own. With that, Maya turned away, leaving Claire standing with a strained smile, her true intentions cloaked in the guise of concern. As she walked into the throng of well-wishers, Maya felt a sense of liberation wash over her. She had taken a stand, not just for herself, but for every marginalized voice striving to carve out a place in a world that often sought to silence them. Maya Johnson sat on the edge of her bed, the glow of her laptop illuminating her face in the dimly lit room. The success of Voices of the Forgotten had been overwhelming. Her heart raced with excitement and anxiety as she read through the latest batch of messages from her fans. Each one was a testament to her hard work, her voice resonating with those who felt unheard. But amidst the joy, a familiar shadow loomed. Claire Thompson, the very editor who had dismissed her talent months ago. Maya's phone vibrated, pulling her from her thoughts. It was a message from her literary agent, Lisa. Claire wants to meet. She has an offer. It read. Maya's heart sank, and a mixture of emotions coursed through her veins. She felt a strange pull between the desire for a larger platform and the bitter taste of betrayal. Claire had cast her aside, yet here she was, trying to lure Maya back into the fold. She can't be serious, Maya muttered under her breath, her brow furrowing. She could almost hear Claire's condescending tone, the way she had scrutinized every line of Maya's manuscript, attributing her success to luck rather than talent. But there was something about this offer that piqued Maya's interest. A larger platform could mean reaching more readers, sharing her story with those who needed it most. Yet, the thought of relinquishing her hard-earned independence felt like a betrayal to herself. Are you going to meet her? Lisa asked, her voice crackling through the phone. I don't know, Lisa, Maya replied, pacing the room. I feel like this is a trap. She didn't believe in me before. Why would she now? Maybe she's realized she was wrong, Lisa suggested, though her tone was cautious. Or maybe she's just trying to save face. Either way, you need to be careful. You've built something incredible on your own. Maya nodded, even though Lisa couldn't see her. I'll think about it, she said, the weight of the decision pressing down on her. As she hung up the phone, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease. While the prospect of a publishing contract was appealing, she couldn't ignore the possibility that Claire's intentions were far from genuine. The following day, while sipping her morning coffee, Maya received an unexpected phone call from an anonymous number. Maya Johnson, the voice on the other end asked, cautious yet firm. Yes, who's this? She replied, her heart racing. I can't say my name, but I have important information about Claire Thompson. You need to listen closely, the voice urged, and Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Go on, she said, her curiosity piqued. There's a reason Claire wants to meet with you. She's not interested in helping you. She wants to undermine your success. She's been talking to some of her contacts, spreading rumors that your success is just a marketing scheme. She's looking for a way to discredit you, to take back control. Maya's breath caught in her throat. The betrayal stung, and she felt a rush of emotions. Anger, disbelief, and determination. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know the truth. Don't fall for her tricks, Maya. You've built this on your own, and you don't need her validation, the voice urged before hanging up. Maya sat in stunned silence, her mind racing. Claire's ploy was becoming clearer, and the thought of walking into that meeting felt like stepping into a lion's den. She had come so far, had fought so hard to carve her own path, and now Claire wanted to snatch it away from her. Determined not to be swayed by fear or regret, Maya pulled out her notebook and began to write. She penned her thoughts, her fears, and her resolve. I am not just a product of marketing, she wrote fiercely. I am the voice of my community, and I will not let anyone steal that from me. As she wrote, a sense of clarity enveloped her. The decision became clear. She would not meet Claire under the guise of collaboration. Instead, she would continue to forge her own path, one that honored the journey she had taken and the readers who had supported her. With renewed determination, Maya closed her notebook, her heart steady. She was ready to face whatever came next, empowered by the knowledge that she was more than just a writer. She was a force to be reckoned with. Maya stood backstage, her heart racing as she prepared to confront Claire Thompson at the prestigious literary event. The auditorium buzzed with anticipation, filled with industry elites and aspiring writers, all eager to witness the latest developments in the literary world. The spotlight was on Maya, who had transformed from a rejected author to a celebrated voice. Today, she would not allow Claire to undermine her success any longer. Taking a deep breath, she stepped out into the light, the audience's murmurs fading as their eyes settled on her. She spotted Claire in the front row, her expression a mask of feigned congeniality. Maya could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on her, but she was resolute. She had a truth to share, one that could change the narrative around her and expose the underhanded tactics that Claire had employed to discredit her. "Thank you all for being here today," Maya began, her voice steady and clear. "It's an honor to stand before you as a representative of resilience and empowerment in the literary community." The audience erupted in applause, and Maya felt a surge of confidence. "But today, I want to address something that has been lurking in the shadows of my success." A hush fell over the crowd as Maya locked eyes with Claire, who shifted uncomfortably in her seat. For those who may not know, my journey to publishing my novel, Voices of the Forgotten, was fraught with challenges, including a rejection from a prominent publishing house. That rejection came with comments that questioned not just my writing, but my very identity. She paused, letting her words sink in. What I didn't know at the time was that the editor behind that rejection, Claire Thompson, had her own agenda, one that sought to diminish my voice and my story. Gasps echoed through the auditorium, and Maya pressed on. Claire attempted to discredit my work, spreading rumors that my success was merely a result of marketing gimmicks rather than genuine talent. But here's the truth. My success is built on hard work, authenticity, and the support of those who believe in diverse voices in literature. The audience erupted into applause again, this time louder and more fervent. Claire's face flushed a deep shade of crimson, and Maya noticed the shifting dynamics in the room. The industry professionals who had once been captivated by Claire's reputation now shifted their attention to Maya, eager to hear her story. She continued, "I stand here today not just for myself, but for every marginalized voice that has been silenced. We all deserve to be heard, to share our stories, and to be recognized for our talent." As Maya spoke, she could see Claire's facade crumbling. The editor had built her career on the oppression of others, and now the industry was turning against her. "I'm here to announce that I am starting my own publishing venture, dedicated to uplifting voices that have been overlooked and marginalized," Maya declared, her heart swelling with pride. "This is not just about my journey. It's about creating a platform where diverse stories can thrive, free from bias and prejudice." The audience erupted into cheers, and Maya felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She had transformed her pain into purpose, and in doing so, had inspired countless others. Claire sat in stunned silence, the realization of her impending downfall settling in. Maya concluded her speech with a powerful call to action. "Let us support one another and create a literary world that reflects the diversity of our experiences. Together, we can ensure that no voice is ever silenced again." The applause was deafening, a chorus of support that resonated throughout the auditorium. As the event wrapped up, the press flocked to Maya, eager to learn more about her new venture. Meanwhile, Claire was left alone, her reputation tarnished and her position at the publishing house hanging by a thread. The industry was rallying around Maya, recognizing her not just as a talented author, but as a beacon of hope and change. In that moment, Maya realized that her triumph was not just personal. It was a collective victory for all those who had faced similar struggles. She had turned the page on her own narrative and was ready to write a new chapter, one that would advocate for those whose stories had yet to be told.